Hi, welcome to the second episode of Women Techmakers in Israel. Women Techmakers is a series of video which brings more visibility to successful women entrepreneurs around the world. It started in the United States and we're glad to host the first series of episodes outside the United States. I'm Michal Segalov. I'm a software engineer at Google. Currently I work on technical infrastructure, so my team designs software that's internally used by other teams in Google. Prior to that, I worked on YouTube, and prior to that on search quality. We have with us Dana.
Hi, my name is Dana. I'm also a software engineer at Google. I've been with Google over 5 years. Currently I'm working on Google Knowledge and Identity. Previously I worked on AdWords, API, and different targeting methods for ads at Google, and worked on social discovery on G+. And I also have 3 kids.
And today we're hosting Yael Karov. Yael is the CEO and founder of Ginger Software. So Yael, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi, I'm Yael Karov. I'm the founder and CEO of Ginger Software. I founded Ginger 5 years ago, and before founding Ginger, I worked in high tech for 15 years in roles of VP R&D and CTO in 3 companies. Before that I had my MSc from the Weizmann Institute of Science in Mathematics and Computer Science. I'm married and I have 3 kids.
So yeah, you had a very successful career and you're now working as the CEO and founder of Ginger. Can you please tell us a little about Ginger, what it does, how the idea came about?
Gladly. So I founded Ginger with the idea based on actually trying myself when I wasn't sure about how to use English, just trying in Google actually, searching for various alternatives. For example, whether I should say in Monday or on Monday, what is most popular. And then I thought, okay, I can do it statistically, use this method of checking what is most popular statistically on the web, use it in order to correct the English of other people. So this will be a useful tool for everyone, that as you type, it corrects your English. And I realized that it is going to be good not only for correcting people English, but also for correcting machine text, like machine translation and speech recognition, which also produce incorrect text many times. So I looked at the algorithms of speech recognition and machine translations, and I realized with the proof of concept that there is a novel statistical model that can correct also the machine text. So I started just by placing a patent on this specific idea and domains. And then my husband, who is also a very strong technologist and an entrepreneur, he started by developing the proof of concept, and we raised money based on the proof of concept.
We want to ask you, where do you think Ginger fit in in the area of English as a second language?
So our goal is to cover the vast majority of English as a second language speakers that already knows the basic vocabulary, but are very far from being native English speakers. So they can write and speak English, but with a lot of mistakes, and their vocabulary is not good enough. And our goal is to help them online in the writing, whether they write in a mobile or any desktop application, everywhere they write, just to correct the writing, to learn the English profile, understand like a personal culture, understand what is wrong with their English, and then offer them a private lessons that are tailored for them to improve their English. And it's not just grammar and spelling, it's to improve their vocabulary and pronunciation, to improve their overall English. So it's a complementary software to English learning schools or courses.
Yeah, in your mind, what is crucial for a startup to be successful?
So I think it starts with a leading team. I think the team should work very well together and should have a very clear vision of the goal of the company, and they should complement each other. And the second thing I think is the strategy of the company. I think when you start a startup with some goal in mind, it's never what you end with. So I think it's to be constantly aware to opportunities and changes in the world and feedback from the users, your investors, and the people you work with, and to know which changes to take and to change your original goals because of all these feedbacks and inputs you are exposed to, and which opportunities and changes and feedback to ignore and to keep your, even though people will tell you that it's not going to work or not to work in a reasonable time and so on, which ones not to. So I think the strategy is critical, and then last of course is the execution, because you can have the best ideas and strategy, but a lot of it just succeeds or fails because of execution.
Do you have an example of how Ginger changed its strategy along the way?
Yes, absolutely. I must say that there are many things I would do differently today. So first is which market we are going to go for, so that our technology and products fit consumers. Every user can download our product from our website, and this requires online marketing to get to a lot of consumers. But it also fits the education market, so just to schools, for example, and the corporate market, because basically almost any employee in any international corporate needs it. So in the beginning, we tried to go in parallel on all these three markets, because we thought it's the same product, and it's just a matter of doing marketing in parallel in three different domains. But eventually we got into the conclusion we should focus only on the online market, because it requires, you sort of cheats yourself when you think that you can do all these market segments without much extra product work and management work. So this is one example of a change. And the second example is that we started only with a focus of English learning. So we have the proofreader and the English improvement software, but we did not develop in the beginning the other products that are based on natural language understanding. And in the last year, we started developing for also the speech recognition engine and the personal assistant software.
So this actually leads to our next question. What are some other technology trends you're excited about?
So I'm personally excited about anything that helps computers understand the human language. So what is most exciting for me today is actually personal assistant, because it's a change. I believe that in the next few years we are going to see that people speak with their mobile phone in a natural language command with their televisions, tablets and computers, and that it's going to change the way people interact with their computer. And I find it most exciting because it's going to affect basically, I think, almost everyone in the world. And also the technology behind it excites me, because it's in order to understand the user or to be able to make some conversation with the user, it's one of the most, if the classical problems in AI, and for me I think it's one of the most challenging and interesting problems to work on.
That's great. What is the technological growth potential you see for Ginger in your future?
And maybe show us a demo too.
That would be great. I will. So we are going in two different avenues. One is actually growing our major product, the proofreader, into also suggesting variations to the sentence the user wrote. So even if the user is a native English speaker, if he writes "I love you" or "I miss you," and it will be helpful for him to get many other ways that other people say it on the web that means the same, but they say it in different words. So this is one problem we are working on, and it's also some growth of our products to people who speak English as a first language. And the second one is to use our natural language understanding technology for speech recognition and personal assistant that understands the intent and slots that the user query had.
Do you want to show us a demo now before we continue?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start by demonstrating our proofreader for the desktop, so it works in any Office application or any browser and website. So this is an example in writing in Gmail. And then I'll show the mobile interfaces we have, and the next version we are working on that shows variations of the different sentences. So the technology growth you asked about is actually in the aspect of speech recognition and personal assistance. So I will now show how our software can improve the speech recognition accuracy by understanding the context of the user query. In this specific example, the user wants to order a takeaway, but it can be any kind of other product that the user would like to order. And we understand the intent of the user, what type of product, in this case, what type of food the user wants, in which price range, if he indicated a restaurant or not, his location, and so on. And the second example is not just a speech recognition improvement, but also performing the task for the user. That really the user can order a product just in a single sentence in less than 30 seconds, instead of spending 10 times by interacting with a mobile application.
Hi, so today I'm going to demonstrate the Ginger Express application, which I'll launch just now. So this is a start screen and asks you what you want to order. I want to order a tuna salad with Swiss cheese, please. So as you can see, we transcribed the sentence correctly, and when we look at the results, for example, there's a chef salad here, a few chef salads actually, and if you want to understand why we selected those, because as you can see, they have both Swiss cheese and tuna in their description. Likewise for this one, a chef salad with Swiss cheese and tuna in them. Let me try another order. I want to order 2 hamburgers and 4 French fries, please. So first of all, the first thing you'll see is that actual order was placed correctly. Namely, we have 2 hamburgers and 4 French fries here, 2 turkey burgers and 4 French fries, 2 pizza burgers and 4 French fries. What you don't see, and is a real accomplishment, is that Ginger was actually able to improve upon Google's speech-to-text engine. So as you can see, the original results received by Google were, I want to order 2 TO hamburgers in 4 FOR French fries, and Ginger was able to decode these results and return the correct ones, namely TWO 2 hamburgers and 4 FOUR French fries, receiving the correct results, which is quite nice. Now let me conclude with one final example. I want to order a banana cheesecake, please. So again, we got the right transcription, as you can see here. Notice that the first result is 1 banana. The question is why we chose it. Well, it's in the section of the cheesecakes. So we ordered a banana cheesecake, and we identified the dish not by its actual name, but by its name together with the section in which it appears. Likewise, before we did that with the dish name and its description. So, I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration today. Thank you. So today we'll be showcasing and demonstrating Ginger's capabilities in augmenting and improving speech-to-text capabilities in a post-processing method, which relies on taking the results received from a standard speech-to-text engine such as Google or Nuance, and breaking it down into the phonetic representation and regenerating candidates in order to yield the correct response. I want a ham sandwich. Now here you see how Ginger was able to not only correct but actually generate the correct answer and choose it correctly. So Google saw I want to Huntington Beach, and Ginger was able to phonetically map that onto the correct answer and augment the results with I want a ham sandwich. I want to order pasta bolognese. Note that, as you can see here, Google got I want to order pasta bolognese, and Ginger Express was able to correct this using our decoder and phonetic similarity to the correct pasta bolognese. I want to order 2 hamburgers, please. So here you see that Ginger Express was able to identify the correct I want to order 2 hamburgers, please, whereas Google yielded the following result: I want to order 2 hamburger URS, please. So Ginger Express was able to identify the correct essential phonemes and regenerate the correct answer: 2 hamburgers.
Yeah, you're leading a lot of efforts in the company you're running. How do you divide your efforts between pushing near-term goals and planning strategically?
It starts by building the management team in a way that matches these goals. So we have a different VP R&D for the short-term goals, which are releasing new versions to the existing products, and we have a VP of an NLP platform, Michal, who is in charge of working on the strategic projects for the future of Ginger. And this division, it's different departments and different software engineers. It's very helpful, and it also helps me to divide my time between these 2 different tasks.
If you had 20 more skilled engineers joining Ginger tomorrow, what would you want them to focus on?
First, I would be so happy. So I would divide them between 2 different goals. The first one is our new version of suggesting variations to your sentences, and that helps you say something in a different way than the way you are used to. So I would really like to release it as soon as possible. It's one of the most exciting, I think, projects in our company, and because there's no other product that is similar to this. And the second goal I would devote it to is a speech recognition improvement and the personal assistant, because the personal assistant project is something that it's huge. You can do, like, you have
Get stuff with
200 engineers.
Yeah.
Still, I would have what to do with it tomorrow. So,
Okay, that's great. What are the major partnerships Ginger currently has, or you would like to have?
there are 2 types of partnerships. The first one is to integrate Ginger into different platforms where user writes. So we offer an SDK for websites, like any webmail or social network, anywhere people write that, and just in a single minute of downloading our product for a website, they can offer their users text correction for free. And the second platform is mobile. So we offer mobile manufacturers or mobile application developers to again to use our SDK and offer the users the text correction. The second type of partners are English learning players. So any network of English learning school for adults, for example, can distribute the students our software, and it will also help them to teach the students in a better way, because the teachers will be able to see the level of English students have and what are the most frequent problems of each student. So it will help them to personalize the learning process.
It looks like you feel strongly about making a difference. So Ginger recently changed its business model to the premium model.
Right.
So how is it going to make money now?
So we are currently offering our proofreader for free, but soon we are going to start monetizing by offering our users to use our premium product. And the difference between the premium and free product is, first is that you get an unlimited usage of the software. With a proofreader, it's limited to a certain number of corrections you accept per month. And you also suggesting them the sentence variations is going to be limited in the same way. So you can, for example, get 50 variations to sentences for free per month, but then if you use it for more than that, then you need to pay. And the second differentiator is the functionality. So in the premium product, we also help people improve their English based on their frequent mistakes, and not just get the online help. So we help them improve their grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation.
I have one more question about Ginger. So in a way, your main client base is not English speakers as first language. So I'm assuming your main market is not the United States. But then some of your products, like the enhancement or the how do you say feature, is targeted towards
personal assistance.
the personal assistant ones are targeted toward native English speakers. So how do you see the differences between these markets?
So first, what we realize is that actually countries which are English-speaking countries actually always have the immigrant population. And for example, in the United States, it's 20% of the people, and also in the UK. And then these people actually would like to improve their English even more so than people who live in other countries, because they need it for daily usage. So currently we distribute it internationally, also in English-speaking countries. We do it, when you do online marketing, then it's Ginger is available to anyone from any place in the world. It's not that we do a specific biz dev efforts in specific countries at the moment. So anyone that will search for example, for a grammar checker, or it means that he has a need regardless of the location. I don't know if it answers the question.
No, it actually was interesting. The marketing to English-speaking countries because with all the immigrants.
And actually I must say that we realize that also people who are native English speakers use our products because, for example, in mobile, everyone has mistakes. If you type really quickly, you have mistakes, and there's no other tool in mobile that can correct your mistakes automatically and use context for that.
Oh, that's a really good use case. I should get that.
Definitely for mobile.
So throughout your career, it seems that you work on very diverse topics, right? You started with an OP, and then you switched over to bioinformatics, and now you're back here. So how do you do these shifts, or what similarities do you see?
So there's a very strong similarity because all the problems I worked on were some research problems that required machine learning and statistical models to solve them. And actually, working on genomics was very similar because DNA is also a language, and also it uses statistical models to learn the language. So it's actually, there is a very high similarity in the different problems I was working on. Of course, the difference is in the product management and marketing, which I was also involved in, was dramatically different because the genomics product I worked on was a chip, diagnostic chips for cancer based on new genes that we found in Rosetta Genomics. And then its product delivery is completely different than consumer product with online marketing. So that this is a dramatic difference. And I much prefer the consumer products and online marketing.
Another big change that you made is the move from being CTO and VP R&D in several in companies that you worked in before to be the founder and CEO. So what made you do this change? How do you capture these two roles? What are your personal preferences?
So it's a good question. I actually, after holding this job, the VP R&D and CTO job in 3 different companies, 5 years each, I felt I just gave birth, so I went to a birth vacation and I had some time to think about my career, and I realized that I feel like I can't go again to the same type of job that I did for 15 years, and that what makes a company succeed eventually is not just the technology, but mainly also the strategy and the product management and marketing. And so I really wanted to do it myself this time, and it doesn't mean, of course, that I don't do mistakes. I absolutely do, but at least I can learn from them and make the changes, I hope, quickly. So it was a wish to lead the strategy of my own company to maximize the success that led me. And I think the real question is, why didn't I do it before? Because it took me quite a time till I got to it.
So what do you feel prepared you the most in the previous roles that you did to your current CEO?
I think it was a great preparation because first it's management, regardless of the domain, that it's technology, just managing people. So I didn't manage a lot of people, it was up to 50 or 70 people each time, but still it really it is extremely helpful to the CEO role. And the second thing is, of course, just the technology itself, just being able to be the chief scientist of the company, or to work extremely well with the R&D manager, CTO, it's because of my background as a CTO and VP R&D, so it was very helpful.
Did you always know you wanted to found your own company, or did this come as a realization sometime in life?
I think maybe if I had lived in if I came from a different background, I would know it earlier. But for me, I certainly had no idea I want to be an entrepreneur till I became one. And the reason is, I think it's because I grew up in Bnei Brak, which is an extremely religious place where usually women do not have a career, and even if they have, they really try to give the focus only to their family, and it was always very clear to me that the family for me is the top priority, and that I have kids or that I will have kids. And so I thought it will be very difficult to combine family with life, to be a good mother with being an entrepreneur that takes all your time. And that was a mistake, this thought that I hope that other women will at least learn from my experience that it doesn't have to be so. You can be a very good mother, including being enough time with your kids and still run a company and really devote to it all the time you need. I think you can really combine it very well, and it was a mistake I had in my perception for many years.
Can you tell us how you got started as an entrepreneur? What were like the first attempt at entrepreneurship that you took and how you started?
So actually, all along I had many ideas for companies, and again I just didn't do it because, not because I thought they will not succeed, but because I thought it will not work with kids. And when I had this idea of Ginger, of just the natural language understanding using the web, I was so excited about it, and I felt I can really do it in a relatively short time that I decided that this time I will do it. And my husband also was extremely helpful in that because he developed the first version of the product, and we decided together that he will back me and really take also a significant role, not just like 50-50 partners, but even more at home. So it was actually a mutual decision.
So what motivates you? What are the things you're most passionate about?
What motivates me is usually having a very, it's not that I told myself, wow, I must be an entrepreneur or I must get to an exit. It's absolutely not that. It's the creation process itself is having a goal that I really believe in, that having an idea for a product that can be useful for many people and can be helpful, not just generate money, but really help people, and that it's that having a belief that I have an idea on how to do it that is different from the existing way it's done. I can only work on something that really, really excites me and I really love. I never worked on anything that bored me. So I think that's the main thing.
So another thing that I must ask, there aren't a lot of women entrepreneurs. You must realize that looking around you. What do you think the reasons are for that?
So that's right, unfortunately. And I think the reason is because, mainly because many women decide they want a family and career balance that will be broken if they start their own company. They see how hard entrepreneurs work, and this is true. You really must work extremely hard. And I think many women are afraid that it's going to ruin their family life or their motherhood, and I can really understand this concern, but I really think that it is possible to do the two things at once. It's difficult, it's not easy, but I think it's possible to do it.
So what do you think are the most important things? You seem to have a great partner by what you say, right?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. I feel extremely lucky and thankful to Avner, my husband. I think it would be impossible to do the balance very well without him. So what do I think is important in order to keep this balance? I think it's first thing is to build the infrastructures to your life. So that means you need, first at work you need to have a strong management that can work and proceed also without you, and and at home you need to build the things that will be able to run without you. So except of course with time with your husband or your kids, that is an emotional time, but any practical, I think, task in life, I think it's possible to organize your life such that you will do zero practical stuff. and just save yourself all these hours of practical things. And I feel also I have a very good support system when unexpected things come up. So I think my mother, my husband's mother, our babysitters group, which are maybe 8 of them, but it's a whole support system.
Running another company in parallel, no?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's helpful actually to learn from how to manage a high-tech company to how to manage your private life with people that are responsible on different aspects of your life.
Which one is easier?
Which one is easier? Actually, I think managing home is much easier. Because,
Just that.
Are you super organized? How do you do that?
It's a tricky question because I think I'm super organized on infrastructures, on whatever needs to be solved offline. So I will look at any problem. Doesn't matter if it's a private problem or at work. I would think it through and think how to make the infrastructure so that things in the future will work in an easier way. But I'm a very intuitive person that improvises all the time, and I'm late all the time, and I'm making changes all the time. So I'm not super organized in that sense, in the sense of I always lose my house keys and wallet and so on. It's not in this sense, that are super organized people.
More in building for the future.
Yes, it's more in an analytical, just treating every problem, doesn't matter which problem, analytically. So just looking at how did they do it in the past, how other people do it, what should they learn, and just design the optimal solution and execute it.
It's very similar to what you have to do at work, right? You have to
It's
solve very hard problems.
It's
almost the same.
it's very similar actually. Yeah.
So you're becoming a role model for women in Israel, at least, probably not just. Did you have any role model when you grew up?
Thanks. First, I must say that I feel I still need to do my big success before I become a role model. But even for that, having role models. So the place I grew in and the time I grew in, that there was no internet, there was no TV for me. Then I didn't even read newspapers, so I didn't know about. Certainly not about any women in high tech. I didn't even know about men in high tech until after my 20s. So I didn't have any technological role models, but my role models were more, Gandhi and Mama Teresa. It's people who made a huge social revolution because they were idealists. So that's certainly where my role models.
So how did you get excited about technology if it was so unfamiliar?
I think it started when I was, 15 or 16 years old, that I found some book of the Open University by David Harel, and it was a completely theoretical computer science book that really excited me. And then when I went to study mathematics and computer science, I got immediately excited about AI, which is not a very fashionable term today, but AI algorithms. So it was a very clear and immediate excitement for me. And so it was clear to me when I finished studying that I will look for a company that solves hard problems with interesting algorithms, and that's what I did. That's how I got to Click Software, and it started there.
So did you deliberately select a smaller company, or?
Yes. I totally didn't care about terms, salary, or anything like that, or any comfortable factor. I only looked for a product or for a company that develops a product with the most interesting algorithms for me. And sorry, I forgot what you asked after that.
If you deliberately wanted to go to a smaller.
Yes, and I think I absolutely felt that I met a small company better than a big company, because I felt I will be able to influence more. And also that it's very difficult for me to deal with bureaucracy. I looked for a small company.
And
Did you ever get a really good advice, and who gave it to you?
Yeah, so it wasn't a personal advice to me, but I think the advice of Steve Jobs to Stanford graduates was actually one of probably the best speech I ever heard. And what he said is that really follow your heart, do only the things you believe in, and don't work with a goal for 10 years or 20 years from now and manage your career logically towards this goal, but follow your heart at every point you have, and eventually all points will be connected. When you look back, you will see that everything you did served the goal you really wanted, and I really believe in that. That's what I did, and the reason it's very helpful for me is also because it encourages people to only do things that they believe in. And sometimes it's very difficult because you have opinions of many people around you that tell you different things from your beliefs. And I turn back to his speech and his advice every time I'm in a dilemma with whether to follow my heart and beliefs or the advice of other people. So of course, in many cases, it's very good to listen to other people and to follow their advice, but then your heart changes and you already want to do what you heard from them because they expand themselves and you change what you want. And that's easy, of course, you should listen and learn. But when consistently you feel that even though you heard everyone and really listen to them, you still believe in a different thing, I think you should do it.
Is this how you know to move on? How do you know when it's time to go and move to a different company? Or?
Yeah, it's absolutely from intuition and the stomach when I feel my passion is not there anymore, and it's difficult to make me lose my passion because it's I stayed at each company. I worked in at least 5 years, and I always went through a lot of crisis modes, and this is not a reason for me to run away. But when I feel that I'm not completely in love with the goal I'm working for, then this will probably turn me to do leave.
So do you want to give advice to young people at the beginning of their career, especially young women?
I think it's I'll divide it to two, which is the first thing is for everyone. I think really follow your heart. Go to work not in the environment you think that practically works the best for you or looking at your benefits and so on. Go to the place that excites you the most. Eventually also, if this is the case, you will be good at what you're doing, and and everything will work well for you. And the second advice is specifically for women. I think is that if you think that you really want, not everyone wants to, but if you really want to do your own ideas and to start a company, and you're afraid that it will not work with being your mothers, and I really want to tell women that I think it is possible to be a very good mother, and also with quantity, with the number of hours you spend with your kid, not just quality time, and to be a very devoted to your company. It's possible to combine it.
How do you maintain your technical credibility and technical involvement while being a CEO of a company?
I'm a very technical CEO, so I really work on the technological problems and the algorithms and hands-on. I'm also the chief scientific officer of the company. So I'm really working almost on every project and problem we have together with the people. I think I hired excellent people. And in the company, like in my own life, I try not to work on anything, operative or technical, legal, finance, all that, and or even the very technical aspects of business development, but to devote a significant time to product and technology.
Well, do you want to ask a last question?
No, thank you.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. It was very interesting and inspiring. Thank you again for joining us for the second Israeli Techmakers, and we're going to have a few more coming. And we hope to.
And thanks for the opportunity for this interview as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.